Hey guys, this is Scott with The Average Joe's Armory, channel for The Average Joe, and today we're going to venture into the competition class of shotguns with Kolar Arms Max Lite Sporting. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Now recently we had the opportunity to visit the Kolar Arms factory down in Racine, Wisconsin. We got to learn and see firsthand just what goes into their competition shotguns. It was really an amazing experience. Not only did we get to meet Sean Mainland himself, the CEO and president, but we also got to meet his awesome team. Now, Kolar Arms is a family-owned business that's been around for a while. They're a big name in the competitive shotgun world. They're known for their high-quality craftsmanship, their precision engineering, as well as their outstanding customer service. And I can tell you, just by being on site that one day, all those things and more are so true. If you haven't had a chance, please check out that video. It was a great experience for me, and you'd be able to see a lot of great things too. Now, at the end of that day, we were actually surprised. Sean himself actually took a demo gun and fitted it to me and encouraged me to go out there and shoot it as much as I could. He wanted to get my opinion on it, and he also wanted me to share my opinion with all of you guys, which is basically what led to this video. It's also important to note that even though that we do have this demo gun, it is just a loaner and we are not being compensated or paid in any way. So all of my opinions are my opinions, and when we're done, we'll be giving this gun back to Kolar Arms. So with that said, today I want to get into the actual gun itself, talk about how I shot with it, and then finish off the video talking about my thoughts and opinions of the gun. So with that said, let's dive right on in. So first things first, this is the Kolar Arms Max Lite Sporting model. Now, if you wanted to get your hands on one of these, there's a couple options and features that you're going to want to know about ahead of time when building your own. So I wanted to spend a little bit of time going over those today. So let's start with the stock and kind of work our way up. So this is an FX stock. It comes with a 6-way adjustable comb on it, and the wood is an English walnut, as well as the forend is a European design, also an English walnut. Now, they do have a custom stock fitting feature as well, so if you do want to spend a little bit more, you can go in there and you can get a palm swell and get that stock customized directly for you. But to be honest, right outside of the box, it fit me very, very well. In terms of the receiver, that's one thing that Kolar definitely does differently than other manufacturers. They use a block of steel and basically machine it, mill it, so then there's less imperfections in it rather than other companies that use casting. So that's definitely something that's very unique to Kolar in itself. Now, the receivers are nickel plated, and on top of that, you can do other cosmetic work like engraving or gold inlay. Now, this one in front of me here has a lot of engraving done with it, and it looks absolutely beautiful. And really, the sky is the limit on that. So depending on how much you want to spend and how much you want to do, that's completely up to you. Kolar's got you covered. They can make it happen. Working our way down here to the trigger, Kolar actually uses their own trigger. It's a Max, basically stage 2 trigger. It's a mechanical trigger driven by basically coil spring, and it is fully adjustable too. So the nice thing is you can actually pull the whole trigger housing out of the receiver and you can adjust it to your liking, which is definitely a great feature. As we move down here to the barrels, Kolar offers a 30-inch barrel and a 32-inch barrel. They do come standard with a matte blue finish. However, for a little bit more money, you can get the gloss blue finish, which is absolutely gorgeous. And on top of that, they do make all of their own chokes right in-house. They're titanium extended chokes, and they're made right at Kolar, so you know that those chokes are made for those barrels, and it's all customized, which is nice. Another thing I want to mention is that Kolar originally was known for their sub-gauge tube inserts. So what's nice is that when you're looking for a competition gun, rather than having a gun for 12 gauge, 20 gauge, all that, you can basically just get one gun and you can get 20, 28, and 410 tube inserts, so you can shoot all those different configurations and different types of shot out of one gun, which is really, really nice. I also want to talk a little about the rib. These come with either fixed ribs or adjustable ribs. Now, they have a flat fixed rib as well as a tapered ramp fixed rib, and then they have the adjustable. The biggest thing is that it's going to change your point of impact. The flat is typically 50-50, the tapered is 60-40, and with the adjustable, you can actually adjust it all the way to 70-30. Another thing too is that these barrels are actually held together with a hanger, and those hangers too are adjustable. So long story short, if you're looking to really dial in that point of impact between the rib and the hanger and the stock, you should be able to get that exactly where you want it with those adjustability options for you. Other than that, I had mentioned that this is a 12 gauge. It's chambered for 2 3/4 inch shells. It's got a 14 3/4 inch length of pull on it, and weight is going to vary depending on what options you get. But based on what we have here today, we're looking at a little under 9 pounds. And what I understand is that they pretty much vary between 8.5 and 9 pounds. So I know I just kind of briefly went over some of those options, but if you wanted to know more, please check out their website. They've got all those specifications listed for this gun and more, so definitely check that out. Now that we've talked a little about the gun, now I'd like to get more into how it shot for me and a little bit about my scores. All right, so let's talk a little bit about how this gun shot for me. So first things first, my go-to over-under is a Browning Satori 725 Sporting in 12 gauge and 30 inch barrels. I also brought a Beretta Silver Pigeon as well as a Weatherby Orion, also with 30 inch barrels, just to get a comparison of this gun to that gun when I was shooting it. First things first, what I will say is that this gun is definitely noticeably larger in size. However, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I will say that 6-way adjustable comb allowed me to get my head in the right position and mount it in the right position every time. And because this stock was actually larger than those other stocks, I felt like I had more to hold on to, not only with the stock, but also the forend as well, which really helped when I'm swinging 32 inch barrels, which again, I'm not really used to and don't have a lot of experience doing. So I actually really liked that this was a little bit of a beefier, chunkier gun because it allowed me to get a better handle on it, which ultimately gave me a little bit more control of it. So I definitely liked that. Another thing that I want to mention is the recoil. Now I mentioned earlier that they use a solid block of steel to mill out the receiver. Well, on top of that, they actually hand fit the barrels to the specific receiver. So by doing that practice, a lot of the recoil is reduced in this gun. In fact, when I shot this gun compared to the Satori, the Silver Pigeon, and the Orion, this was extremely less felt than the other ones. In fact, there was one day that I shot 150 rounds with this gun and my shoulder could have gone longer. So that says something. I was also shooting Winchester 8-shot target loads, mainly just because I got a really good deal on those and I had a lot of them. So I wanted to keep, hundreds and hundreds of rounds with the same ammunition when I was testing out this gun as well as the other ones. So first things first, it definitely was very comfortable for me and well balanced for me. It also was very low recoil. In fact, the lowest recoil over under that I've shot ever. So I can say that on record. And then lastly, I wanted to talk a little bit more about the adjustability. So in fact, that was kind of a learning curve as well. Because we have the adjustable stock, now this one doesn't have the adjustable comb, and I don't have the interchangeable hangers, but because of the adjustability, the point of impact can be very different than what I was used to with the Satori. So my learning curve came in there. Now, if I had this gun for a longer period of time, I could really dial in that point of impact and probably get much better scores. But at least for the first, couple times that I shot 5-stand and sporting clays, my scores were actually lower than my average. I was shooting in like the mid 30s. And then after some time, I got up to my 42, which is my average. So 42 out of 50. I shoot pretty consistently in sporting clays and 5-stand. And then after really getting comfortable with that point of impact and knowing how to swing these barrels and when to take that shot, I was actually able to get a couple scores that were higher than my average. So overall, a very, very nice gun. Now, if I had more time with it, and specifically if I was shooting it maybe more in spring, summer, and fall, instead of this 11-degree weather that's, very, very windy, I think that I would have gotten even better scores. But because the days that I guess I went out, it was pretty windy and I lost a couple clays to it, I shot the scores that I did. So with that being said, awesome fit, awesome feel, great weight, great balance, and overall just a beautiful top quality gun. So my recommendation would be is to connect with a Kolar dealer, see what kind of Kolars that they have in stock, let that dealer know what's important to you, what you're looking for, and actually just see if you can demo a couple of the guns. Take them out, shoot them, get a feel and fit for them, and ultimately make that decision for yourself. Is a Kolar the right type of gun for you? For those of you that are watching that already own a Kolar, please let us know, what kind of model do you have? How long have you owned it? And what do you really like about it? What don't you like about it? I'd definitely be interested to hear that in the comments. But with that being said, I wanted to take a moment to thank Sean Mainland and the Kolar Arms Company, not only for letting us get on site and learn more about them and how they do things, but also for letting us use this Max Lite Sporter to put as many rounds as we did through it and really test it so we can give our opinion of it to all of you guys. But with that being said, this is Scott signing off with the Average Joe's Armory. If you haven't yet, please like, subscribe, and ring that bell. Really appreciate it, and we'll see you in the next one.